I'm Nikki from Indo-Asian News Service. Three threads were clear in your talk: coronavirus, supply chains, and the downgrades generally. Is it possible for you to thread these three themes and comment on the Indian market?
India is, geographically, close to China, but I understand that there is a lot of, steps that are being taken, to prevent, a massive contagion. We're seeing this across Asia, right? So, the risk, I guess, is there. But India can, so one of the results of this episode is that because China is growing less and demanding less, producing less temporarily, there's less demand for commodities, and commodity prices have declined, oil prices have declined. So some countries that are net oil importers, including India, and I put there Turkey as another example, and South Africa, actually do face a positive terms of trade shock. So there is something, quote unquote, good coming out of this bad situation. So there is some temporary relief, but there's maybe something positive for a period of time. I would say that the economic link, however, between India and China is still rather modest. So when we talk about the beta of growth of, if China's growth declines by half a point or one full point, how much that affects other parts of the world. India is not topping the charts in terms of that beta. Topping the charts actually is countries that are, the rest of Asia that are quite linked to supply chains, are obviously much more on the front lines of that negative impact. But also, even countries in Latin America that are exporting commodities to China are also in the front line, of that impact. So I would say that, in a way, I don't think that India is the biggest, quote unquote, casualty of this episode, and I think that Indian markets are probably going to be trading more on domestic dynamics, domestic factors, rather than on, what we're discussing here about the global, shock, or coronavirus shock and the impact on global growth. Even before this episode, obviously, there's been a deceleration trend in the Indian economy, but this has nothing to do with coronavirus, So I think that, again, I would say domestic issues are more relevant to understand the dynamics of Indian markets and the Indian economy these days than this global shock. If anything, there's something positive coming from lower oil prices, which India imports.